issues which affect an evolving and emerging Indian American community committed to preserving the vast customs of a vibrant cultural heritage.
Welcome to In Conversation, folks. We come to you from Washington, D.C. My name is Ramesh Budani.
And I'm Astha Verma.
Well, I want to tell you about our trip to Europe.
That's right. You were on a cruise.
Yes, a Mediterranean cruise. You know, we went to France, we went to Spain, and then, of course, we went to Italy. It was fantastic. But the reason I want to do this story is about the plight of American dollar. Folks, first of all, in Europe, they used to accept dollars. Now they will not even touch your dollars. I was so shocked. I bought an ice cream, and I wanted to pay. And I said, well, I have American dollars. I don't have euros, you know. He said, I'm sorry, I can't take that. I said, but I just took a lick of it. What are you going to do? He said, okay, I'll take the credit card. They took the credit card, but will not take the American dollars.
Unbelievable.
$1.61 for 1 euro.
You know,
now, I want to tell you, Europe is so much more expensive than America, it's not even funny.
well, unfortunately, now it's out of reach for a lot of people because when you are down into that kind of differential, it's almost $2 equivalent to €1. Then everything becomes twice as expensive. And I remember when I went, this was years ago, it was just above $1, and at that time it was painful as it was.
Yes.
So I cannot even imagine what it feels like now.
Oh, it feels more expensive to us, but to the residents, for instance, Italians, they were telling me that as long as it was lira, everything was cheap. But now that it's euro, everybody has raised their prices. And it's amazing, and I want to tell you, folks, the recession in Europe is going to last very long. The inflation is not going to be there because Chinese are shipping goods that are cheaper than Europeans, still expensive, folks, but they're cheaper than Europeans, are keeping the inflation down. And China card, I want to tell you, fantastic diplomats. They come in, they spend the money, they buy the politicians, and make sure the Chinese good keep on coming in town. Keep on coming.
But here's the thing. We are as much China consumers as anybody, right? I mean, America probably is the biggest consumer of Chinese products. And now that you've got a globalized economy, it's natural that the world is becoming a consumer of China's products. So they are going to benefit no matter what. I mean, recession or not, inflation or not, you know, dollar going up and down or not, Chinese goods are worldwide and people are consuming them.
But now China, India, and Brazil got together to beat up on the dollar. They say, hey, look, we don't want to accept dollar. We want to create this other currency. I just don't understand it. Why are they hating our dollar? First they hated America. Now they're hating dollars. Folks, the dollar currency is the best currency in the world. Everybody used to accept it, I must say that. But today, Chinese say that you can pay us in yuan. Indians say you can pay us in rupees, and so on and so forth. So everybody wants to build up their currencies. So that was the war I saw firsthand in Europe. No dollars accepted.
Well, I think it's a harsh reality for the U.S. to accept that it's not going to be the dominant player on the world stage anymore, or rather, it has to earn that status back.
And that is what President Obama is doing. He has traveled so much, so quickly in his term, first term.
Isn't it ironic that, you know, for so long we talked about Obama's weakness on the foreign policy front, right? He didn't have foreign policy experience, didn't really have experience outside the country. Domestic agenda was his forte. And here we are, and this week the news is bad, the economy's bad, it's not as good as people were hoping it would be. The unemployment rate is highest that it's been in 30 years, I think. So you've got him all of a sudden being criticized on the domestic front, but getting kudos, especially on the world stage, first with the Middle East conference and now with the Russia conference.
That's right. I mean, he's been everywhere. He's going to India next. U.S.-India Business Council had their anniversary party. Indra Nooyi introduced Hillary Rodham Clinton, the Secretary of State, and she was very nice, and she said she's coming to India, and of course later on President Obama will join her. India has been in news. I'll give you a couple more reports about India. For the first time, India has said that they want to make Bombay the best city in the world. So they have come up with this bridge that comes from one end of the sea to the other end of the sea.
Connects Worli with Bandra, which used to be a very long, circuitous journey. It used to take an hour. Now it'll be collapsed to 7 minutes. So it's incredible.
It's incredible. And folks, take a look at the pictures. Yes, it was supposed to have been finished in 2, 3, or 4 years.
It's over budget.
It took 10 years and, of course, a lot of rupees considering what the budget was, but they got it done. And yes, there are a few problems, but they'll take care of themselves. At least they have the bridge. This is beautiful. The number 2 in Delhi, you know, Swami Narayan Mandirs, they're all over the world. They are beautiful. But the one in Delhi, you got to really appreciate it because you take a look at the pictures. First of all, no steel was used.
That I thought was quite amazing from a construction standpoint.
And 200 and some pillars, thousands of murtis. It was done by 11,000 artisans and sadhus working 5 years, day and night, day and night. What a beautiful temple. I mean, it is something to see.
It is. I mean, I guess you could say that for our modern times, it could be, you know, equated on some small level to the Taj Mahal, just because it's a modern construction of that grand mass scale. Certainly nowhere in that same realm, but you get the point. But you know what I thought was interesting is my parents actually went to that temple. When it was newly opened, and while it's magnificent, and they truly said it was magnificent, it's very much a business profit center. They are looking to make their buck, and so for ordinary pujas and things, they charge. You know, things used to be prasadam. You know, prasad is always free. It's a blessing when you go into a temple, but not in this temple. In this temple, you have to pay for it. So, I mean, it goes to show you that
I did not want to go there. You know, it's okay to get paid. You know.
Well, you know, temples are like churches in that they are centers for people to congregate, but they're also business. They have to be to some degree in order to maintain and upkeep the grounds. And clearly, you can see from these pictures that it's a magnificent piece of property. They really put a lot of work and effort into it, and it's designed to host tourism. You know, so they are just they're redeeming their return on investments. Well, moving on, folks, something else that India did that can, I guess, be deemed quite progressive is they did a landmark ruling. The Supreme Court of India actually decriminalized for the first time